Ice cream.
An article published in June 2019 stated, from the bags that find their way to the ocean and into the stomachs of whales, to the straws that hurt the turtles, to the microscopic shards and synthetic fibers that have been found in the remote Arctic, plastic pervades the planet. Plastic has become an endangerment to the whole earth, causing harm, and we need to solve this problem and take action. You may be wondering, what does plastic pollution have to do with us humans, and how does it affect us, and why we should care? I will provide you with credible information for why we should minimize the use of plastic. As I mentioned before, plastic pollution is hurting the ocean creatures because plastic doesn't decompose like any other garbage, but it stays around for quite a while. Well, what is plastic pollution? Plastic pollution is the accumulation of plastic objects in the Earth's environment that adversely affects the wildlife, ocean creatures, and humans. We use plastic almost every second of our day. For the most part, plastic tends to be used only once, and only a small percentage of it is recycled. Meanwhile, the rest, ends up in the ocean, threatening the lives of many of the sea animals that live there. Plastic pollution has become a massive problem, and it is still said that it will get worse. Ted Seigler, a global waste management expert, mentioned that by 2025, it is estimated that we'll have created 13 billion tons of plastic waste. Well, we pay 10 cents for a plastic bag, and we're slowly eliminating the use of straws. But what about water bottles? Little things such as a small plastic sandwich bag and even a ketchup packet from your local fast food restaurants are only used once and are not being recycled. But in what ways is plastic pollution truly hurting the earth? Usually when plastic ends up in the ocean, there are many ways it hurts the creatures that live there. These creatures can end up eating the tons of plastic that surrounds their home in the ocean, causing them to become ill and then die. Minimizing the use of properly disposing plastic can reduce the amount of creatures dying each year. Nearly 700 ocean creatures, from zooplankton to fish to sea turtles to dolphins, have all been harmed by plastic. This damage ranges from getting stuck in it or eating it. Earlier this year, rescuers found a sick pilot whale near the shore of southern Thailand. It couldn't swim, nor it could hardly breathe. Later, as veterinarians tended the whale, it vomited 5 plastic grocery bags. Shortly after the whale died. It was then revealed through tests that it had more than 17 pounds of plastic in its stomach. Well, how can we save these turtles, whales, birds, and wildlife? The key to solving this massive problem of plastic waste is simple, and we simply need to look for alternatives and using less plastic. And the less plastic that we use, we have to make sure we dispose of it correctly as recycling. Before the 1950s, there wasn't much plastic being used, but it is the simple fact that plastic was created to make our lives easier. If our ancestors were able to live without plastic, so can we. And we need to seek those alternatives, saying no to straws and using paper straws instead, and using reusable bags instead of plastic bags, and using a reusable drinking water instead of a plastic bottle. By taking these suggested solutions into consideration, we will minimize the amount of creatures that die from plastic each year. It has been mentioned by experts that if you take your reusable bag to the grocery store with you, you'll cut down 1 trillion plastic bags that are used around the world each year. In addition to using reusable products instead of plastic, not only are you saving the ocean and protecting your water and food supply from contamination, but you will also save up a couple bucks. I mean, who doesn't want to save a couple bucks? Well, with that being said, I strongly encourage you all to take action and be part of a nonprofit organization that helps to save the creatures from the ocean and helps to eliminate the plastic that goes into the ocean. Ocean Conservancy is a nonprofit organization that helps the ocean have a voice, and you can find them in oceanconservancy.org and donate. Plastic pollution has become an endangerment to the creatures in the ocean in ways that it has killed so many of them. This is why we should minimize the use of plastic we consume and consider the alternatives instead of using bags, straws, and bottles that are made of plastic. This is This way, the plastic bags won't find their way into the ocean, but most importantly, the plastic toxic chemicals that could contaminate our water supply. Thank you.